Now I want to talk about your diet and the things in your diet that perhaps are not toxic or chemicals, but that can increase inflammation in the body. Inflammation is behind the pain, it's behind the stiffness, it's behind a lot of the symptoms of fibromyalgia and other illnesses. So, not fueling that fire with inflammatory foods is going to help you feel better faster. So, the number one food that causes inflammation in the body, unfortunately, is sugar. And with sugar, if you find yourself eating a good bit of sugar, this is very, very common when your energy is low. I mean, heck, I've done it myself. It perks you up for a bit, but it also causes inflammation in the body. So if you happen to be a sugar person, you cannot cold turkey it without really feeling bad. So I'm going to recommend that you cut your sugar by 1/3. And then after a week or two, when your body adjusts to that, then cut it by 1/3 again. So you can either take smaller portions, or let's say you drink a can of soda, you can drink 2/3 of the can and throw the last third away, whatever it is that works for you. And then once you've gotten adjusted to that after a week or two, then go ahead and cut it by 1/3 again. You want to cut back all refined sugar in your diet. Some fruit is fine. Fruit juice is pretty sugary with no fiber, so that's going to be a bit much. But the less sugar, the better for sure. Now, grains are another aspect with fibromyalgia and other illnesses. Grains are inflammatory for two different reasons. Number one, they do convert to sugar when you break them down and digest them. But the second reason is that grains can also contain what's called mycotoxins. Now, mycotoxins do come from mold. They are chemicals actually produced by mold itself, and they can make you sick. So the grains, they're stored in silos and so forth, and they do tend to have mold. Peanuts are another example of a food that tends to be moldy and can contain mycotoxins. So grains, the wheat, oats, and corn are the most inflammatory. Rice, you can handle some amount of rice. Quinoa is really more a seed than a true grain. Lots of people do fine with quinoa. So the less of those inflammatory grains, the better. Now, I want to talk to you about a ketogenic diet, because this is a buzzword that's around a lot. If you have a lot of inflammation, you may find that a ketogenic diet actually makes you feel a lot better. Women sometimes need some carbohydrate to feel their best. So a true ketogenic diet is going to be below 50 grams of carbohydrate per day. That's almost nothing. Many women feel best if they up that to 100 grams and stay below 100 grams a day. Again, if you make a transition, if you decide to try keto, if you make a transition quickly, you will experience what they call the keto flu, which again is just a detox of your body, reacting to the sudden change and it being overwhelmed by that. So it is okay to gradually work into this kind of thing. Besides the ketogenic diet, a lot of people find that a paleo diet, which is also grain-free, by the way, will also calm their inflammation to a great degree, and you may find that that does well for you too. The most extreme type of paleo diet is called the anti-inflammatory paleo. It cuts out other foods that tend to cause inflammation, like nightshades, for example, which would be tomatoes, peppers, eggplant, and white potato. And so some people do better with those. I do like the website, thepaleomom.com. They have a good example of the autoimmune paleo protocol and just a regular paleo protocol that you can go on and learn a little bit about and see if that type of eating would be right for you. But minimally, we want to get the sugar out of the diet, all the refined sugar out of the diet. And we want to get the most inflammatory grains, which are the wheat, oats, and corn, out of the diet. And then dairy products. Some people have inflammation from dairy. You can certainly test this out by coming off of dairy for 3 weeks and then adding it back in and see if you get phlegmy or if you get some other kind of symptom that's uncomfortable. Not everybody has to get rid of dairy, but some people certainly do. So play with this, see which foods are the worst for you, but most definitely the sugar and the bad grains are the ones that need to come out for your best healing from fibromyalgia. Inflammation is like a fire, and we are trying to throw water on that fire. So eating those foods is like throwing gas on the fire at the same time, and you're fighting against yourself. One more inflammatory food would be unhealthy fats. So vegetable oils, oils that have been treated, hydrogenated oils, those do cause inflammation in the body. It sounds like they would be healthy, a vegetable oil, but it's not really. Your healthiest fats that you can incorporate in, and they do actually help calm inflammation, one would be coconut oil, one would be butter from grass-fed cows, and that's important because, as I mentioned earlier, the grains can contain the mycotoxins, and of course, lots of cows are fed grain as their main staple, and so you actually do get those mycotoxins in the milk as well, in the products. But it can either say grass-fed butter on the label, or if you get Kerry Gold, Kerry Gold, that butter comes from Ireland, and the cows there are all grass-fed, so you know you're getting the grass-fed butter when you do that. So grass-fed butter, coconut oil are very safe anti-inflammatory oils. For many people, avocado as well. Some people are a little sensitive to avocado, so you may have to play with that. And a good quality olive oil is also very good.